Before they knew it, Nell and Halo were back in Queen Coldheart's castle. Inside study number 42 were Toll, Jax, and Thieveslave. Jute and Petrel's parents had fallen asleep, their tiny bodies exhausted from all the excitement. Well, I think we should say Jute and Petrel's parents were there too, but they had fallen asleep, their tiny bodies exhausted from all the excitement. "So her lips are sealed?" asked Nell, looking at Thieveslave. "For 2 years," snapped Halo, sneering at Thieveslave. "And we have no idea where the Overlord is?" asked Nell. "Is he really related to us?" asked Toll, looking distressed. "Of course he isn't," said Nell, "but he'll be lying about that for as long as he can." "What is he up to?" asked Jax, looking worried. I know who could tell us," said Halo slowly before touching Thieveslave's lips with his wings. "Now," he warned her, "speak only the truth or I'll seal up your lips for 5 years." "What about her?" snapped Thieveslave, pointing her finger at Nell. "She hasn't been telling the truth. She's been lying through her teeth ever since she got here, and so's her son." "Stop it," snapped Halo. "She can do whatever she likes because she wrote the book in the first place, and you'll show a bit of respect or I'll... "Oh, Halo, for pity's sake," said Nell. "Enough of the threats. Now, Thieveslave, speak honestly. This is your very last chance. What is Thieve up to?" "He just wants what's his," said Thieveslave. "Really?" snapped Halo. "And what's that?" "His precious jewellery," said the servant, sneering at Nell and Halo. "Where was he going when he left Immen's city on his urgent business?" asked Nell. But Thieveslave simply poked out her tongue before biting it rudely as if to say, "I won't tell you a thing." "Ha!" laughed Halo. "I've read her mind." And with that, Halo brushed Thieveslave's lips again and snorted, "That'll be 10 years of silence for you, for insolence." Thieveslave slid to the floor and wept silently, but no one cared much because they were too intent on finding Overlord Thieve so they could safely set about releasing the prisoners, trapped as pearls on a necklace and popcorn on a bracelet. Well, they're not really pearls or popcorn, they're next to the pearls and the popcorn, so let's just fix that up. So they could safely set about releasing the prisoners trapped on a necklace and a bracelet. "Come on," said Halo. "Let's get going before the thievester does something else rotten." "But what about Thieveslave?" asked Toll. "Forget her for now," said Halo. "When I touched her with my wings this time, it was to cause her to be without any memory of the past without any memory of the past 2 weeks, and not to be able to speak for the same period. So that'll give us plenty of time to get on with things." "So she's not going to be mute for 10 years?" asked Jax. "Nah, I thought that would be too harsh," said Halo with a grin. "But a good scare never did any harm, especially not to someone like Thieveslave." "Good work," said Nell. "Let's go. But where are we going?" "What was in her mind when you read it?" Nell looked intently at Halo. "We're off to the library, of course," smiled Halo. "Where else?" "What's the library?" asked Jax. "Oh, when I was little, I always called the library, said Nell. "So when I was inventing the virtual worlds for this book, that's what I decided to call Libraryland." "Ah," said Toll. "We're going to a library then." "If you people ever move your bottoms, we might get to the library before time freezes over," snapped Halo rudely. "I thought angels were supposed to be kind," whispered Toll to his mother. "Not at all," said Nell. "People always painted pictures of them as if they were the dullest creatures on earth or in heaven, when really most of them are like wild animals, completely untamable." Toll took a deep breath, secretly hoping Halo didn't have any sharp fangs he hadn't revealed yet. They all moved quickly from their private study to Queen Coldheart's main room and through the mirror back to Los Candeles. Once they were inside the Los Candeles house, they went from room to room, testing each mirror to find out which one would lead to the library read. "Why don't you know which one it is?" Jax asked Nell. "You did write the book, didn't you?" "Yes, and I used to know everything about it," said Nell, "but because the virtual world of this book's been used as a training ground for imaginicians over many years, most of the trainees have added new sections to the book, and some imaginicians have completely changed parts of the book." "How confusing," said Jax. "Not really," said Nell with a laugh. "It is a virtual world, after all. Anyway, we all get together regularly to find out who's been going on, to find out what's been going on. But I've not been to a meeting for over a year, and things change quickly. Last time I was here, all the study mirrors led to the library read, but they didn't work today. Don't worry, it'll be one of the mirrors in the house. I did set up some logic when I first invented this land. The trainees can change some things, but not everything." At last Halo popped his head back in through one of the mirrors and beckoned them all to come into the library read. Once they stepped through the mirror, they were in an enormous book-lined tower, which had a glass ceiling. It must have been at least 17 stories high. "Shh," whispered Halo, holding his fingers to his mouth and indicating that everyone should bob down. "I can see Thieve. He's busy doing something on the computer." "What shall we do?" asked Nell. "Wait a moment," said Halo. "I have an idea." But before Halo could say anything more, Thieve spun around and looked at the mirror. "Who's there?" he asked. Jax, Toll, Nell and Halo huddled together behind a cluster of armchairs in front of the mirror. They looked nervously at one another. Nell put her finger to her lips and held both of Jax's hands. Halo looked like he wanted to reduce his size to a hummingbird so he could fly over and box Overlord Thieve's ears. "Come out! I know you're there!" Thieve walked slowly towards the group, but before any of them could do anything, the Overlord lunged into the group and grabbed Jax. "Now stay back," he said. "Jax and I are leaving." "Oh, no, you're not," called Halo. He'd reduced his size and flew straight towards Overlord Thieve and Jax. "Your pants are burning way out of control. Liar, liar, pants on fire," shouted Halo. As soon as the angel was within reach, Overlord Thieve produced an enormous atlas of the universe from behind his back and walloped Halo to the ground. There was a puff of silver smoke as the tiny hummingbird version of Halo lay unconscious on the carpet. The Overlord drew his foot up in the air as if he was going to crush Halo, but Jax pushed him out of the way. "What is wrong with you?" she shouted. "He's an angel. Leave him alone." "He's a traitor," said Thieve. "I have to eliminate him." "He's not," said Nell, emerging from her hiding place. "You know that. Now come along, Overlord. Let's talk." So little Miss Dew is back inside her amazing book. It's been rewritten. Now stand back while I leave with this little ice switch. Nell wondered how to proceed. She knew that Jax was in very real danger whatever she did. Meanwhile, Toll had made his way around the side of the library towards the computer. He wanted to see what Overlord had displayed on the screen. It read, "Title, Exiting virtual worlds without a pass out. Author, Godot the Labradoodle. Status, out. Borrower, Ned Loggett. Due date, any day. Toll's heart leapt. Ned Loggett, he thought. I know that name. While he was trying to remember where he'd seen the name, Overlord Thieve caught him. Overlord Thieve caught him. While he was trying to remember where he'd seen the name, Overlord Thieve caught him. He quickly did some magic that immobilized Toll. Stay there, said Overlord Thieve. Now, Neldew, either you allow me to immobilize you next to your son, or you can come with us as our prisoner. Make your choice. Nell did not want to be immobilized, but she didn't want to go with Overlord Thieve either. Where are you going? She asked. You know you can't get out of here without a pass out. Oh, I'll get a pass out. I think I just need to add there, the Overlord looked very proud. Oh, I'll get a pass out. Don't you worry about that. But where I'm going first is the least of your worries. If you must know, though, I'm off to find one of my characters, one who has an overdue library book. Still, I'd have thought you'd know all about that, seeing as you claim to have written the book. Seeing as you claim to have written this story, he snarled. See, Toll and Jax, she doesn't even remember the plot of her own book. Don't listen to him, said Nell. He's trying to poison your minds. I'll come with you, Overlord Thieve, but on one condition. You tell the truth. Why are you really here? The Overlord glared at Nell. I am telling the truth, he hissed. And I'm sorry, Neldew, but you'll have to be immobilized alongside your son. Nell sighed as she sat next to Toll while the Overlord used his poisonous magic on her. Bye, Overlord Thieve. Take care of Jax, said Nell. Bye, Jax, said Toll sadly. Remember about Durtar. To their surprise, Jax turned back to them and winked. They both refrained from changing their facial expressions and hoped that the Overlord hadn't noticed Jax's signal.